Hi everybody, thanks for joining me today for this week's question and answer video. I do this every single Monday for those of you who are new here, and welcome. Thank you for joining us. And I'm answering people's questions from last Monday, the last question and answer video. I do this every single Monday, like I said, and I encourage all of you, please join us and participate and ask questions. We've got to learn what happened with our traumatic experiences, our relationships. A major way to heal is to learn what happened to you and talk about it. And so I encourage all of you to find someone to talk to and ask questions, okay? Let's find out what happened so it's not so confusing and traumatic. Part of trauma is confusing, not knowing what happened, not knowing why, things like this, and so it can really, really help us heal. I like to recommend something every single week. This week, I'm recommending another book. This comes from Emily. Emily's a contributor and a follower of the channel. Hi, Emily. And she says this book is great, it's amazing, she loves it. So I'm always open to new recommendations since I do them every week. And so this book is called Reinventing Your Life, the Breakthrough Program to End Negative Behavior and Feel Great Again. Sounds pretty good, huh? It's got lots of good reviews, real positive. The authors are Jeffrey E. Young, Janet S. Klosko, Aaron T. Beck. Paperback is $31.99 on Amazon. There's a link down below there in the description box for the link for this book. Anybody who knows about this book, has read it, let us know what you think. Anybody who buys it and reads it, let us know what you think. Thank you. So let's get into the questions. Several really good questions. You guys, ask me anything you want. Just tell us your location, please. Let us know where you're at. I really like to know, so do a lot of other people. It just feels nice to know that people are all over the world dealing with these same similar problems, issues, relationships. So let us know where you are, guys. Thank you. So, Pretty Puppy doesn't tell us your location. Let us know next time. David, this is a wonderful video. I actually haven't gotten all the way through it yet, just about halfway, only because I'm so sleepy and only awake because of some thunderstorms. But I was really struck when you were answering Christine's and the following question about growing up being emotionally neglected and not having our emotional needs met, as well as growing up taught to be somewhat vulnerable, as well as about high blood pressure, stress, anxiety, night terrors, etc. I've never quite heard it talked about this way, and for whatever reasons, it struck me pretty deeply that it instantly gave me tears and a few more when you were answering in such a kind, caring, compassionate, and empathetic manner. Thank you, Pretty Puppy. I'll definitely be back to finish, but I just felt so moved by what I've heard so far that I wanted to make a comment now. I'm so grateful to you and your beautiful heart, spirit, soul. Thanks so much for caring about us. It means a whole lot. And thank you for sharing that. Thank you for telling me. That's nice of you. And I think it's a good cry, isn't it? And it's one of those aha moments, and we need those. We need those big aha moments of discovery, of self-discovery, of our experiences and learning what happened to us. So I hope it's a good cry, Christine. Yeah, hopefully this is an aha moment that helps you learn a big step of what happened to you, and hopefully it alleviates some shame and guilt and just bad feelings. Thank you for sharing. Next question is from Maya. Hello, Maya, in Chicago-ish, Illinois. You've stated that empaths are bred from narcissists. What about regular people who end up in a relationship with a narcissist? Does that mean they've come from a toxic family background? Because healthy people would have left the narcissist and not deal with the chaos. I look forward to your videos on Mondays. Thank you, Maya. Well, I don't like to use the word normal and not normal. It's either we're all normal or none of us are normal. And I know what you mean. I use like emotionally healthy, emotionally unhealthy, but adults that have abusive, neglectful relationships in adulthood, it's because of our childhood. We don't come from normal, healthy families that loved us and gave us everything we need and things like this, and then we go into these abusive, neglectful relationships. It doesn't make any sense. I've never seen it yet so far, doing this for years. I've had a couple people claim they had perfect, normal childhoods, but I see that they didn't, and sometimes that's a little hard to show people. It's extremely hard. It can be extremely difficult for us to identify these kinds of patterns in our own life, and that's why professional help is so necessary and mandatory. I get asked all the time, David, what can I do? What kind of supplements can I do? And it's like, dude, if you're not doing talk therapy, good luck with all the little Band-Aids, you know? And I mean, this is your mental health and this is your future in your life. You can take 10, 20 years with a therapist that isn't helping you. And where does that get you, right? And so we start getting the help we need now and go all in and be committed. But the answer to your question, I think I answered it. Does this mean they've come from toxic family? But yeah, toxic relationships in adulthood, toxic relationships in childhood, to some degree. And neglect is abuse, okay? Neglect is abuse. Your parents neglected your emotional needs. It's abuse. And it can be really hard to identify. I think most of you have heard me say this enough about your childhood. Those of you who are new, I encourage you to watch more of my videos and do a lot of insight and introspection and really talk to a professional that can help you point out these patterns in your life, possibly, and really connect the dots, okay? If we, you know, Freudian psychology 101 says that if you're dating females, if you're dating a very narcissistic man in your life who is beating you or abusing you or cheating and lying and neglecting you, then most likely your dad's like that to some degree. Your dad wasn't home much, worked all the time, never said I love you or never even showed it, just said it but didn't feel it. And mom kind of didn't get what she needed, and so she's unhealthy and enabled it and blah, 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 blah. That's the very bare minimum right there, okay? So I think I answered your question. Let me know, Maya, and keep asking. Thank you. And runs with scissors, bear. I can't remember where you're from. You've told me before, but tell us again, please. Thanks. I taught myself to pull out of insomniac patterns years ago. Not sure if it's a method that would work for everyone else. And this is a method that Runs with Scissors Bear used to do to help her sleep. I imagine myself entering a huge empty boardroom with a large empty table and surrounded by empty plush chairs. Sitting on the table in front of one of the chairs is a tablet and pen. I imagine myself pulling the chair and sitting down, beginning writing another episode of one of my favorite sitcoms. My go-to show was always True Blood or Vampire Diaries because loose ends in the plot can always be fixed with magic or supernatural means. Haha. So she speaks about this kind of envisioning. She has a set table, chair, sits down, starts writing stories with her favorite characters and her favorite shows. And this helps her sleep. She says, my brain has learned that this imaginary process is the cue to settle down, relax, and go to sleep. And I love that. I love that. I used to do something similar. I had, when I was very young, I never slept well. Never slept well. I think I had cptsd most of my life. And I didn't want to sleep. And if I did sleep, I'd wake up in a couple hours or so and be up for the day. I always went by 4 hours of sleep a day. But one thing I started doing in my late 20s, I had a roommate, and he had feeding mice for a snake. It's a long story, so I'll try and keep it short. And I rescued one of them because it was in there for days. I felt bad, took it, and now I have this little pet mouse. And I used to make, in this huge box, I used to make all these different mazes and bridges and tunnels and stuff like that, and it was so fun. It was relaxing. And at night, I envisioned shrinking myself down to the size of the mouse and literally going through all the little things that I made, and I could never make it through the end before I fell asleep. One big thing here is starting this process that you, who wrote this, Running with Scissors Bear, it triggers your brain. It's like, this is my sleep regiment, and when I start it, now my brain knows to relax, and that's huge. And that's why I get people on a sleep regiment for better sleep hygiene, really. And I like to do sights, sounds, smells, touch, and all of our senses get triggered into knowing it's time for sleep, and our brain relaxes. And that's something very important because our brains are looking for danger all the time, and they're sending stress chemicals that don't help us sleep, okay? So I just really like that. Thank you for sharing that. I'd love to know what you wrote. Nate Dogg Games from Carolina. Hi, Nate. I like watching them every day. They make me feel safe. How do I go about going no contact with my parents once I moved out in a year? They are toxic. I am sad to say it, but my life, you be better without them in it. Thank you. I send much love. Thank you, Nate. And thanks for letting me know when you like to watch narcissist videos. That's something I asked last week. How do I go about going no contact with my parents once I move out in a year? So you have a plan to move out in a year. Get help, get assistance, have support. Have supportive friends, have other supportive family, unless they have ties to them, and start planning this entire move and plan what you're going to do to lead up to it and plan what you want to do after it. Have something to look forward to. And we've got to start talking about all the trauma that happened your whole life with your childhood. I'm just saying sometime we have to, whenever you want to do that, Nate. You can wait 20 years or 30 years if you want to. Sounds like you're pretty young. You can wait till your 50s or 60s. It's going to be that much harder to heal from. It's going to be that much harder to fix your life. You might as well do it now while you're young. And so you don't have to carry all this pain and anguish and resentment and anger and anxiety and depression. So have support. Have a professional helping you to do these things every week, holding you accountable. Keep holding up your goals in front of you, okay? So one thing I recommend, Nate, is create distance from them. Get all your belongings. Don't leave stuff there. Don't let them know. I mean, you're going to deal with guilt, because guilt is you feel guilty trying to do something for yourself to better your life, that you want more joy in your life than they have to offer. And you're going to feel guilty. That's what most people do, and that's why you feel guilty. Talking about guilt, having friends and support helps us with guilt, okay? Write them a letter when you're all ready to go, and don't let them get a hold of you. That's my best recommendation. They don't, get a new phone number, right? Don't check the email they know. Spam all their emails and ignore them. If it's going to be difficult, and if you're asking me because you think they won't let you, this total codependency, they're afraid of losing you, they need you, they depend on you emotionally then, if that's what they're going to do. And if you feel weak enough, vulnerable enough to where you won't leave, or you'll go back and finally break down and do what they want, be extreme. Be extreme. Find a therapist to help you, or a life coach, or a counselor for support, and call upon your friends and family and everybody else you know, and tell them what's going on, and tell them you need support doing this. Let them know how hard it is. Come up with a plan of what you want to do after, not just up to, but after. Have something to look forward to. Maybe start with a little vacation, something like that. Reward yourself, congratulate yourself. And there's just all kinds of things that we need to start doing to heal from this. All kinds of things. From exercising and dealing with our anxiety and talking about our depression and being creative. And there's just so much that we need to start doing, Nate. And it's just very difficult, if not impossible, to do this alone. Okay? And that's the biggest factor from leaving your toxic husband or your wife, or leaving your toxic family, or things like this, big moves that we're making. We need support big time. We need people to help us, and people to talk to, and people telling us that you're going to be okay, and create massive space, physical and emotional. Okay? I would write them a letter and tell them what you want. That might help alleviate some guilt, and it might help them from harassing you. But make it very impossible for them to find you and contact you, okay? Good luck, Nate. Good luck. Just realize that you're doing the right thing, the healthy thing, and know why you have these feelings of guilt. I think I kind of told you, okay? It's, Nate, you do everything for mom and dad. You're a good boy, Nate. And Nate, you wanting to leave and do anything for yourself is selfish, and you're a bad boy. Nate, you're bad. You should feel guilty. That's what you're feeling here. And this means that mom and dad are emotionally dependent on you. This is codependency, big time. And they are afraid they're going to lose you. Okay? Even if your home was great, Nate, let's think like this, everyone, because a lot of you guys deal with this. Let's say your home with mom and dad and siblings, whatever, is great, very healthy, very happy, very fun. Everyone's needs are met, and everybody respects their privacy. No one screws with anybody, it hurts anybody, no yelling, no arguments. We all talk and connect and really understand each other, and everything's going great. Could you leave then? Would that be okay to go off to college, or go off to a career, or go get married and have your own house and children? Isn't that okay? Then why isn't it okay when everybody's toxic? You know what I mean? Even more reason, Nate, to get the hell out of there. And the reason you feel guilty is because your parents are making you feel guilty. Period. Your parents are making you feel guilty for it. They don't care what you want, what you need, how you feel. It's just me. They have a toxic, dependent, codependent family and relationships, and everything is a threat to that. Nate wanting to leave is a threat. Nate wanting to work, change jobs, make a lot of money, have a new girlfriend, all that's threatening. How do they react when you're dating somebody? Thanks, Nate. Let me know what you think. Keep asking questions, please. Thank you. Michelle from Pennsylvania. Hi, Michelle. My favorite day to watch is Monday. One thing I do every day is exercise. I love to walk or jog by myself to air out my thoughts and anxiety. You are right. Exercise relieves anxiety. I walk by myself at work on my lunch as well. Sometimes I will get a self-help book, go sit somewhere and read. Leave the house to get away from laundry, cleaning, and sit in the quiet. And good for you, Michelle, to do what you need to make yourself feel better. Perfect. Not relying on other people. Perfect. Walking helps so much with trauma. People that have been traumatized. And I think of it as, if you don't like where you are, don't just sit still. Okay? If you're not comfortable with your life and how great it is, don't sit there and take warm baths and stay in bed all day and not move and not do anything and not call anybody. Instead, get up, keep moving, right? Shower every single day, a cold shower. Open the blinds and the drapes and start moving around and exercising. But walking is good because things are moving by. Period. That's why it's good. Things are moving. You go on a vacation, you'll feel instantly better because your brain's not looking and focused on the fears and the dangers that are at home. Because that's where all these experiences happen, right? At home. And so getting away from there, getting to a new location, your brain starts looking for new fears, and that really helps a lot. It goes away. Walking can do the same. We are moving, your brain's looking and being stimulated and looking for new dangers, and we kind of forget about the old ones. Okay? And it's a good way to meditate too. Thank you, Michelle. And Anthony says, watching from Italy, your videos make me feel recalibrated, safe, and not alone. Following since CNXG channel. Thank you. Thank you, Anthony. That's awesome. Thank you very much for supporting this channel for so long. We need all of you guys' support, or this will be nothing. 10-minute meditation before sleep makes wonders. Meditation is absolutely necessary. I didn't know how important it was. I used to meditate years ago before I knew any of this stuff in healing. But as I was healing from this, that kept coming up. Meditate, meditate, meditate. And I would try it and it helped, but I didn't realize how mandatory. That's one thing that is mandatory to healing from trauma for our brains. We've got to stimulate this prefrontal cortex again to inflate it back to normal and start helping us with our calming hormones again. Okay? Cooking, cleaning, meditating, exercise, talking, all these things really, really help. Mind games, okay? And I don't mean mind games like your ex did with you. I mean mind-challenging games, puzzles, things like this really help. Kayla from Alabama. Hi, Kayla. Hi, David. Thank you for the content. You've been helping me heal for about 3 years or more. My first narc husband was 16, and you're welcome. Thank you for telling me. First narc husband, 16 years ago. Had a son together. Me and my son stopped dealing with him 6 years ago. He was in my son's life till almost 8. He's a heavy drug addict. The ideal was he still stay clean and he could see the sun. But now he passed away this past Friday due to drugs. Oh my gosh. And I'm sorry if that's a loss for you. It might be. Okay? It might still be a loss. And I'm sorry for your child. That's traumatic. He died due to drug complications. His girlfriend has arrangements for paying respects. She's an addict and seems to be jealous of me for having his only blood son. Envious, that's envy. And refers to her son as his son. She keeps talking about his wishes, which I feel are quite confusing. He was very overt, and I find it hard and confusing to think about what he truly wanted. She blames me for keeping my son away, that he would be clean if he could see the sun again. Yeah, right. And that's your fault and your son's fault, right? That he didn't get clean first. Right? 8 years didn't help, and I know that's another excuse he used. Is it normal to not understand their wishes in death with all the schemes? I wish to honor him correctly, as he was my first husband and my son's father. Thanks, Kayla from Alabama. And I wrote down, Kayla, thank you for your support over the years. I appreciate you. Honor thyself, Kayla. Honor thyself and your son. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. Just think of yourself. Okay? He's gone now, and you do whatever you want to do. Is it difficult to honor their wishes? I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. I see what you're dealing with here. that would be hard and confusing because you're dealing with freaking drug addicts, okay? She's a drug addict, so don't contact her, don't talk to her. Who cares what she wants? Who cares how she feels? Who cares what she says? Who cares, right? She needs zero contact with your child and you. And you do what you got to do, you know? But think about yourself. If you want to go to the funeral and pay respects and she's going to be there abusing you, you ask yourself, can you handle that? If not, well, that's all you have control over, so we're not going to go to the funeral. You can pay respects any way you want. There is no, you have to do it this way, okay? Maybe you can talk to him. Maybe you can go out and bring something you guys had together or something of his or something. Talk to him, say, I'm sorry for whatever happened and I forgive you if that's what you want to do, and burn the thing and we're over with, done. I don't know what else to say except talk, 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 Kayla. You might still need to talk to somebody about that relationship even though it was years ago. Because not healing from it stays open forever until we heal. It's not about time, guys. Trust me. If you're waiting for time, ooh, and doing nothing about it, just waiting for time, it's going to stay with you until you die. Okay? So just talk to somebody about it. Maybe. That's all it takes. Kid. I don't know where you're at in your healing journey, but sounds like maybe you need to talk about this more. And if you haven't at all, you need to talk about it. Okay, Kayla? Thank you. Good luck. Emily. Hi, Emily. And I know Emily's from Africa, South Africa. Hi, Emily. I feel guilty when I ignore my parents, but I have to because I don't know whether or not they're going to be happy today or devaluing. I'm going to the internship. At least my mom is glad for me. Also remember, this is an internship, so I'm not supposed to make money. My dad said, you don't have to make a lot of money just to cover your rent. And it's not nice if the boss you work for is jealous of you, right? Maybe he can hum a tune and he can help you write a song. It sounds like just sarcasm. My dad wants me to fail. He wants me to stay on the farm forever and push me down to be able to feel good about himself. And that's what emotional dependency is. Just like I was telling somebody, the person before last. Your mom and your dad really don't want you to succeed. They really don't want you to leave. I guarantee you. You've been here enough. I've talked to you enough. And they don't want you to leave. They're extremely codependent, and you can find many different reasons your dad wants you there even though he hates you and tells you he hates you, and you can find many reasons your mom wants you there even though she tells you, oh yeah, I'm happy for you, go ahead and, you know, go do what you got to do. She doesn't really mean that. I know it. They're just so codependent. Dependency is an addiction, and that addiction becomes number one, even over children, as you are learning, Emily. Look forward, do what you got to do, okay? Talk to somebody, and I think you are, and just work on yourself. Your parents are adults and they can take care of themselves even though they've convinced you they cannot and they need you. Perfect time for them to go learn how to finally take care of themselves, which they will not. They will just get sicker, more dependent, more paranoid, more isolating, more abuse, more neglectful. Good job though, Emily. You're doing great. Stacy from California. Hi, Stacy. I'm wondering if you have suggestions on what to do about specific triggers. For example, I never listened to country music until the narky got me onto it, and so for 2 years I listened to it with him. So when I did, I was thinking of him. It has been a whole year and I cannot listen to it without getting physically ill and my hyper alert amygdala going off. It is awful because I can't always escape it. I was in the store the other day and a country song was playing, so I wanted to leave, but I couldn't. I stood in the middle of an aisle, closed my eyes and ears, and hummed to myself as long as possible. I'm embarrassed by this. What is the best approach to handling this? Would hypnosis work? I couldn't tell you if hypnosis will work for you. Hypnosis works for some people, not everybody. We're all different in different scenarios and situations and experiences. So hypnosis is a supplemental therapy, okay? So hypnosis doesn't cure people's mental illness. Talk therapy does, and that could be something nice along with it. I'll repeat myself. Hypnosis does not take care of and heal and make people better with their mental illness. It's a supplemental therapy that goes along with the number one therapy, talk therapy. So I would ask you, Stacy, what have you done to heal from this relationship? What have you done? My guess is you haven't talked about this. My guess is you haven't healed from this. And that's what triggers mean. We heal from emotional pain and trauma when we can talk about it, think about it, and things like this, and it's no more emotional reaction. So things just triggering you already knows that you're not healed from it, okay? And it's okay. It's okay, Stacy. there are ways to heal from this, and I strongly recommend you take advantage of those ways to heal from it. You're in California, that's like life coach capital of the world. Lots of different therapists there, okay? There's also video therapy and coaching. So take advantage of that. These triggers won't trigger you if all of our memories are bad, or bad experiences are emotionally tied experiences. So when we go back and we feel these things and we talk about it and understand it, it stops feeling so bad anymore. And then there's no reason for a trigger. Do you see that? Does that make sense? I get traumatized by my house burning down, and then every time someone lights a match or I see a fire or there's lightning, I get triggered. Okay, well, once I talk all about the house burning down and I go to the house and I understand all the loss and I start accepting it and all these, processing all these emotions, and to where now I think about the house fire, it doesn't bother me anymore. I've accepted all my loss and things like this. And so a match and a fire and lightning would have no reason to trigger that anymore. I hope that makes sense. I'm being clear. Sometimes I use poor analogies. And so would hypnosis work? I think it would help. You know, I could see it helping, and I could see it not helping. That's kind of up to you and your brain and the hypnotherapist. Okay? Talking number one. Talking number one. Try to use an analogy. Hey, David, I don't eat food. Do vitamins work? Vitamins help, but you can't survive off vitamins, can we? We can't just take vitamins and minerals and we're all okay. Or people would just be taking pills all day and we're fine. We don't need to, worry about anything else. We need fresh food with fresh vitamins and minerals for our bodies to absorb. Okay, that's my point. So will supplemental work, will hypnotherapy help? And I think you said work. It depends what you're going for. To fully heal? No. No. From emotional trauma? No. No. Would it help? Sure. If I'm not taking zero calcium in my life, would a calcium pill help? Sure. Is it enough? No. Okay? I hope that I made sense. That's everything, guys. That's all the questions for today. Please ask more questions. Let me know what you think about my answers. Okay? I know a lot of times I miss questions or I misunderstand you guys, or I miss a part of your question. Don't answer it. Please keep asking. I keep answering. You tell me what you think. Keep asking, and I keep answering. Okay? And we keep healing together. That's the point. Okay, guys? Anybody interested in coaching, you can find me at daviddemars.com. I really appreciate you subscribing to the channel, voting up or down, tell me why, say hello, tell us your locations, and share this video with people you think that it could help too. Thank you, everybody. Love yourself first. I'll see you next week. Enjoy yourselves. Bye.